I think the thing with Corrie is that, there's not sort of particularly strong adjectives that come to mind when describing her character. She's not kind of the stoner or the comedian or the weak one or anything like that. She's just pretty much a normal girl, and as a result, there's many different ways in which you can play each scene, and I think the main thing for her is her relationships with others and her friendships with others, and then how that affects her. In the book there's talk of her wanting to go off and nurse in different countries and stuff like that, but I think in the movie, it starts off, she's very keen to marry Kevin, and she's got this sort of idea about how her life's going to be, and she's always going to live in Wirrawee and have Ellie and Kevin, and then obviously everything changes for her, and she's got to cope with people changing.
I think it would be a bit wrong of me to start going on about the challenges of working here when I think everyone involved in the production of this have faced far more obstacles than I would have done as an actor. I think there's always issues working abroad. Well, not really issues, but there's the matter of things like the language barrier, different food, different climate, things like that to get used to. But you can't really complain because this is just one of the most incredible countries in the world and that I've ever been to. So I think, yeah, it'd be a bit bratty of me to start going off about, oh, it's cold or whatever, because it's just like, get a reality check. I'd say first and foremost the people, in particular the children that we've worked with filming, and also the children here in Dampus. People have so much generosity and kindness of spirit and such an innocence and a beauty. That's been really, really wonderful to get to know some of the people and stuff. And even though there's these kids which they don't speak a word of English and I don't speak a word of Nepali, but we're able to kind of just get on and play, and there's always some universal things which you can do, like hand games or whatever, just to kind of hang out with the kids. They're just so gorgeous and lovely, so that's been really fun. And I've really enjoyed being in Pokhara because it's just such a beautiful part of the world, and the lake's really pretty, and yeah. Also, actually going up in the plane, even though I was terrified of doing it, was really, really cool, and we kind of circled around a bit and stuff before I felt a bit, unwell. But it was like, that was really, really cool to get to see like the stupa and all this stuff that you wouldn't normally get to experience. I did, because I did a film, Peter Pan, when I was 12 in Australia, so I'd actually read the books in the tutoring sessions there for English or something, so I did know about the story before I got to work on it, yeah. Mm-hmm. No, because, in real life you don't know what's going to happen to you, so you can't sort of... There are some times in film where things are there, markers to indicate something's going to happen in the future, so, like, what's the worst that could happen? Well, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But in terms of how to play this character, I didn't think, you couldn't really play it with sort of foresight, because she's not a mind reader, or, she doesn't have a crystal ball. Sure. Yeah, that was the biggest compliment when people came up to me in Australia and said, started talking to me and then were surprised to find out that I was English. That's the best compliment that you can get. That's an interesting question, actually. I think, yeah, there's something different inherently about Brits to Aussies, and I tried to inhabit a bit of the sort of country thing as opposed to the city. She's not going to be sitting all kind of like this. So there were aspects, but I suppose that's more just the character. But yeah, I think maybe that just came naturally, I hope, with, from just experience of being around other Aussies and stuff like that. Aspects of it were tough. I mean, because we did a lot of night shoots, and that just takes its toll sort of emotionally and physically, because, you have to shift to that kind of, that pattern of sleeping. And as a result, you do feel a bit weird and all that. But so that was quite tough and quite draining. And when you're doing a lot of running around, yeah. But I mean, it was good because I had such a great support network around me, because they were all just lovely. So, but as an actor, you just kind of get on with it as best as you can. But it was good to have some of it outside and all that, because sometimes when you're in the studio, it's hard to really imagine how things would look and all that, but when you're running between cars which are in an actual fairground and you're having things exploding around you and all that, that really does lend itself well to imagining what you're going through at the time, because you're going through it. I did, and tried not to think about it too much and just get on with the job, but there were moments when I sort of thought, oh no, I'd like to go home now, but for the most part I had such a great bunch of people around me and I was permanently busy, so it wasn't like I had loads of time to sit there and twiddle my thumbs, I don't know, I hope it does well, because I don't think it's necessarily so Aussie that people wouldn't understand what was going on. It's not sort of it's not sort of secular in that respect. I think it would translate to any country, because you can imagine what it would be like at any point. And there are things in it which do make it very Aussie, references to Vegemite, whatever, but at the same time that doesn't, I think, detract from the fact that it is a brilliantly told story about teenagers that could be from anywhere. They're normal people and they don't know, they don't have all the answers. Like so often you see, right, we're going to do this and here's the plan of action, and I think it's very refreshing to see a bunch of kids who are like, what are we going to do? And they're all disagreeing on what, you know, it's really well written, I think. I think not necessarily, I think they're just sort of, they are as they are. And it's kind of timeless in the modern sense, as in it's not obviously going to be Victorian or anything, but yeah, I think they pretty much were as they were. I think the way in which she reacts to the whole situation would be similar to how I would react, because she genuinely doesn't know what to do, and she's not going to be the type to sort of stand up at the front and go, right, here's what we're going to do, you know. She's more kind of not sure, which is how I think I would be. But she's really shy and I'm not so shy, so. I did a film called The Last Furlong, which has been changed to the title The Hideaways, which is premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival. So that's going to come out whenever, I don't know. And then at the moment I'm just auditioning and seeing what happens, and hoping for something brilliant to come along. It's not necessarily a conscious decision. I think I was really happy when I got this one, because it was so different to anything I'd done before. I'd only done period stuff before. So the fact that I got to be in jeans and not a corset, and that was really refreshing. I think I've already used that word, but anyway, yeah, I think that it really depends on the story and the character, and no matter what time frame that's from or what kind of movie it is, or TV or theatre, whatever medium, then I'd be happy to do something as long as I like it.
I can't remember anything about who directed it, but it's not acted. It was set, I think, July 23rd or 24th, 2004 or something like that, maybe later. Everyone around the world filmed themselves for that day, and then it was all sent in, and the job was in the editing process, and it kind of takes you from dawn till dusk, and it's all around the world, and it makes me cry, makes me laugh. I just think it's a really beautiful piece of filmmaking, really special.